Hey, Max.
I'm reaching you via Skype in China. Which city exactly are you located at the
I'm in
moment?
Beijing currently.
So we are doing this interview because there will be ArtCOP21 in Paris, which is a global festival for cultural activities on the climate change. And what they try to do, they try to raise an awareness of the people towards climate change. How do you see your role as an artist when it comes to such major issues?
I personally think the major role of the artist in general is to do his artwork. I mean, and if I talk about artwork, I probably would say for my personal perspective, interesting artwork somehow involves the viewer, meaning like giving him the opportunity to encounter and experience something that might leave a trace or kind of seeding idea that might develop into something, and parallelly also somehow creating a certain um, encouragement in the viewer of proactively co-producing the artwork. And the other side is, I would say, as an artist, and I mean being exposed to the public in a certain way, I think, I mean, you cannot avoid including that issues that ArtCOP is somehow addressing, and I think it's very important. But it shall not get an ideology, and I think not now every artist shall work with this. I mean, it's somehow as if you said now you have to do it, and the artists are the saviors of the world. They are human beings as you and me, and I think. Being an artist is more like a mental approach, and that mental approach in public, in my opinion, shall include a non-patronizing way of dealing with people and also being very compassionate with others and probably being very inclusive rather than exclusive.
I think the special thing about Art COP21 in Paris is that, like, at the same time when politicians are discussing and negotiating climate change and ways to fight it, at the same time artists are present. So in a way, I'm asking, um, do you think that artists and politicians, or the world of art and the world of politics, should communicate much more intensely?
On a certain level, they are probably communicating already, but the question if they are together willing to develop a language, and I think always exchange is something that's very important for both sides. I mean, you can get inspired, and I think from my point of view, I mean, reality is nothing that is static. I mean, it's somehow a construction, and I'm quite confident in that what you are doing somehow changes the world, and also the world feeds back more in a way of like interconnectedness or so.
Can one party learn from each other, maybe?
In my opinion, it's more about the approach towards each other that might let something relevant evolve, like encouraging each other in a way, than just like bringing two persons together or two parties together. I mean, there's always the danger of also instrumentalizing the other side. I think that the honesty lies in both parties to play with open cards and probably see not the politician and not the artist, but just a human being. We already know intellectually where the goals are, but we actually have not gained the potentials, or we haven't gained the key to activate the potential inside each human being to actually follow that path, to somehow be responsible for the planet and others and inner collaboration.
There's a lot of political apathy nowadays in the world, and people vote less than they used to, and they shrug maybe their shoulders when they hear yet again that climate change is destroying our planet. So what I'm wondering, or what I'm asking is, do you see a new role for the artist emerging from this situation?
I personally don't think that it's a new role. I think it's the role of every human being on our planet to somehow engage in a certain process that leads to progress and to development and a certain shifting of the horizon that we have in our times. I think to just like push that role to the artist, which I personally said, like I said before, well, I think it's more like a mental approach. So probably everyone can be an artist in that way, thinking about the world. I mean, probably the difference between somebody thinking about this and acting like this is that the artist probably creates a piece of artwork or something in a different context. But I think it's not something so much new. I think the re-engagement of the public or of other human beings in your life or in whatever you do shall be inspiring. I mean, if you now would go into the future and look back at that moment when we are talking now, it would be so great if that was an inspiring moment for you and you would make a new book or interview, and I would probably do a different artwork or whatever. So we have to take the moment serious. I mean, because also we die at a certain point.